Welcome to the Startup Grind.
All right, so welcome to our sixth Startup Grind Bratislava. Tonight we're hosting CEO and co-founder of Pixel Federation. For those who are here or attending Startup Grind for the first time, we are a community of entrepreneurs. There's around 400,000 entrepreneurs around the world. We are in 200 countries and 85 cities. Every city is running these events on a monthly basis. The founder of Startup Grind is Derek Anderson. He founded this concept in 2010 in Silicon Valley. And the idea is that we do 1 hour interviews with successful entrepreneurs so they can share their stories and you can get inspired and hopefully you can copy their success as well. Also, before we kick off with the first set of questions, I would like to thank our sponsors, namely KPMG and Slovak Telecom, for supporting us. And also, I would very much love to thank our media partners for spreading the word around. And that's why you are here, basically, right? So, thanks for that. And now, without further ado, I would like to invite our host, Simon Sicko, to share the stage with me. Round of applause.
Yeah, welcome in Pixel Federation. So let's start.
It's a beautiful office, and actually, yeah, thank you Pixel for providing us with this beautiful space.
You are welcome.
All right. Can you guys see as well? Is everything good? Perfect. All right. So
I prepared myself, so
it's handy.
yeah. That's fine. Just ask me.
Right, so I will be kicking off with the first set of questions. We'll be looking more into Simon's background. So my first question is maybe you can tell everybody like where you're from and maybe if you go even one step before, what did your parents do?
Oh yeah, I'm from Lamač. It's a very important suburb of this city. And I was born in 1975, so I'm pretty old, 41 already. And I am from, I think it's really nice family. I got 2 brothers. One is graphic designer and teacher on Academy of Fine Arts and Design, well known, Jan. And youngest one is Philip and his sculptures. And both of my parents are sculptors, so I'm from artistic family, so I call them artists. So we were traveling a lot and with their exhibitions and so on, but I had a beautiful childhood, so it was really nice and interesting. I was running around the Lamač, beating with boys and a lot of sports and these kind of things. So I'm just a normal guy from this part of city. So.
Cool. What about yourself? What did you study?
I finished Academy of Fine Arts and Design Department Architecture. So I'm the architect in '99, and after that I did a little bit of architecture. I was cooperating with Mr. Kautsky, very famous architect, and I was in Italy working as an architect, but somehow I was not satisfied with this role, architect and client role. So I was looking for a different type of job, and I fell in love with Flash technology. So I learned the code things, and I was doing Flash pages and Flash games on the early. So that's a little bit of my background.
So was it like your first job, you would say?
I was never employed like before. I was all the time. I was like a freelancer because I pretty hate these rules or I love to set up in my own rules. So. I was working for several companies, but all the time as a freelancer or guy who can work from home or and so on. So
what do you think it was the main driver of becoming the entrepreneur? So if you don't like the boss structure, what was it the freedom feeling or?
Yeah, freedom feeling, setting my own rules, and then I think I like the responsibility. It's really important for me to be head of my thoughts and direction of my life. So this is really important for me.
And what happened after that? So you were a freelancer, and what was the transformation or the transfer to Pixel Federation?
Well, I think in 2002 I met Philip. I met Philip Fischer, who is one of the co-founders, and we were friends from before. We knew each other a long time. We were playing basketball as a kids and so on. And his father is a great artist. And he told me that there's a possibility to work for a gaming company called Eldaya, and they need architects. So I said, okay, I will try it. I really love the games, and I love the games. So I was like, okay, this is the opportunity somehow go to gaming industry, and I went there, and it works for me, and they were satisfied with what I did. So I started in Eldaya, and then the Eldaya was acquired by Tentacle Studio, and it was big German developer and publisher, and we raised the money for the project Elvon, and I was working on this project. It was really nice times, and it gave me a feeling that this is it. This is what I love most, game development and this kind of thing. So I was working there almost, I think, 5 years, and it's pity that the studio goes into bankruptcy, and the album was never published. So sad story.
And then there was a moment you guys say like, "Hey, let's do and make something on our own."
You know what? They fired me. So they fired me, but it was okay. They fired me because I was not clicking into their future plans. And when they fired me, I started thinking about setting my own company, and we were working together with Lucia, my wife, Philip, and Marian, who is the fourth co-founder. Marian was QA lead, Philip was producer, Lucia was producer and HR, and I was the creative guy. So we come together, and somehow we were so naive that we set up our own company.
Okay, so you met your founders. So you knew your founders before.
Before,
Classmates.
yeah. I met Lucia in a pub, and I woke up in her flat after that. So classic story. Classic things happening. And Marian was my biggest enemy in one game called Overland, and we were really fighting against each other. So, and he was really he was smartest guy with this analytics head, and I was guy who was doing a politic and somehow find the right people and set up the alliance against him. So it was really nice time. So I knew his skills, so we met before, and then we came together in these Tentacle Studios, and we run or we set up the company. And Philip is a friend from childhood, so
right.
It was.
Right. So in the early days, there are usually many challenges that young companies have to go through.
Yeah.
So what would you say were the main challenges, and then what were the main fuck ups you did?
Yeah, main challenges was like survive and have some food, because you are out of. On that time in 2007, when we set up the company, there was no such a word as a startup, or we don't know these things. We were not able to thinking about raising money or whatever. So plan was, let's run B2B things and somehow collect the money, and then they use them into our own projects. So pretty naive thing. that was the plan. So we were looking for some clients. We were on early stage. We were able to set up deals with sector and these kind of companies. And later on, we go on, and we were pretty good with tech and these kind of things. So our major clients were ESET, Ubisoft, Navtec, and this type of companies. T-Mobile, Czech T-Mobile, and we were doing these B2B things, but it was really not what we wanted to do. And really, what is really important on the very beginning, and that's the question, and the answer is stay focused on your vision, because if there is no focus, your vision is gone. I know that vision needs to be set up right, but that is really crucial in the very beginning.
So would you say that you're still following the same vision you set back in the day?
Like the vision right now, like being independent game developer and publisher. That's it. And right now our claim is players to players. That means we need to enjoy the process of doing games, and we are still players. So usually we do a lot of analytics, but end of the day we are producing game we would like to play. So that's the
right. So okay, now if we look at the timeline, so Pixel Federation was established in 2007.
Yeah.
Then you were doing some B2B things.
Yeah.
And then what was the first game you made B2C, and why that game?
There were several games, but the first one was Empuria, and Empuria because one of our guys just came with the idea he would like to do a browser game, and we were playing this browser game. So we knew the industry and we knew the mechanics. We were playing all game and Overland and Insomnia. And he came with the idea. We say, okay, probably let's do this, and without any documentations and so on. So. This was our and we started before we got the investment, so we were financing it really slowly, and then we were able to sign the first investor, who gave us something like 400K for the games, and we were able to develop 2 Nintendo games, Nintendo DSi games, and deliver the Empuria, and 1 or 2 iPhone games. But all of these games, except Empuria, were pay-to-play games. And it was not success at all. And I think the ratings of these Nintendo games were pretty high. It was like 7 from 10 or something like that. And the games were really nice. But on that time, in 2008, market just crashed down and these kind of things happened. So we were just fucked.
Right.
And then we were thinking, okay, this is it, probably we are done, or we got the idea, or we saw where was the problem, and the problem was the third parties. That means that we were trusting these guys, these publishers, these I don't know, whatever guys who promised you something, and you go and gave them part of the revenues and so on, and they were really they sucked badly, and we thought that probably we can somehow bring everything under one roof. That means that not being able to produce these games, but also set up our own user acquisition or marketing and analytics and these kind of things. So I think conversion for success was that we recognize that it's not only about the product, but it's also about all of these things around this product. So we start to act as a not only developer but as a publisher, and we found out that Facebook will be probably great platform for that. So I must say, I don't care if people talk about us as a Facebook company, because we are not. Facebook is just a tool where we can deliver our things, and later on I will tell our future plans. Anyway, that was the breaking point when we recognized, okay, we need to handle also these kind of things.
So we're almost getting to train station topic, but before, you mentioned that you were publishing on Nintendo and,
Yeah.
and other. I mean, why did you decide Nintendo? There are so many platforms. Like, was it because you liked it, because you played
From
it?
very beginning, we met a guy called Mark Thiel in Tentacle, and Mark Thiel it's a producer from UK or US, and he was doing games like Fallout, and it's my favorite type of games, and he was producing Fallout Tactics. So Mark was mentoring us from very beginning, and he told us, guys, Nintendo is the right market for you, and let's go there. You are not building these AAA titles, but you can be really fast there, and you find this publisher, whatever. But 2008 happened, so that's that,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, and then the year 2010 comes,
Yeah.
and you guys decided to go, as you mentioned, the growing platform, the Facebook platform,
Yeah.
and you guys created Train Station.
Yeah.
Why trains, and why was it successful? do you
It
think?
was easy because Philip came with some prototype, or he wanted to do the game about the dating
Okay.
on Facebook. I was like, man, this sucks. I didn't get it, what this game was about. But it's not his fault. And I was like, shit, this sucks. So I was like, I like the train so much, and I'm not train freak, but I love to play these train games like Railroad Tycoon and these kind of things. So I was thinking, I'm not sure, probably the trains will be, and I told Philip and Marian on that time that, guys, because we were dealing with investment and we were pitching him, so I was thinking, okay, guys, I would like to prepare the pitch for train game. Are you okay with that? And they say, okay. So I prepared a pitch, and yeah, I must say that there is only probably 1% of what I was doing in this pitch in the real game. It changed completely, and all of these guys were working on it, giving the ideas of that. So I was just pitching this from very beginning, and it was probably coincidence. And yeah, that's player to players. I said, Philip, this is type of the game I would like to play on Facebook. So easy.
And why do you think it was successful? Like, there are so many games that are there. There's a lot of marketing budget, and they still don't go through. Like, what was the key ingredients you would say that this game was successful? And
I think it's a niche
growth.
game. It's a niche game, and we got this saying, done is better than perfect. So we were able to deliver it on early stage, and somehow iterate it through our customers or players. And we were really moving fast. The code so sucks on that time, but somehow you need to survive. And it was really niche type of game. So, and when your ROI is 7 days on your marketing, then you are thinking, okay, it's luck, but there are these fundamentals of it. So it was like the rocket. So I'm saying to some startups, you can see success on very beginning, and when it's not there, you will not get it later.
Yeah.
Because you can feel it that it is it. So it was happening with the train station.
Okay.
So.
And maybe now more business question. How are you managing the growth, right? So the game is growing, you need to grow your team.
Like this, no.
You describe the whole process.
Like when we were 40, we start thinking about org charts and these kind of things. And what was really great thing that there was agreement between three of us, because Lucia left and she sold her share from company, that who will be the head of it. So, and Philip was before, and I said, okay guys, right now it's time for me, probably, are you okay with that? And they agreed. So we said, okay, I will be the head, and we set up the strategy on early stages, what we'd like to do. and we said, okay, let's stay with the Facebook. So, and do you know this? It's a business saying that this kind of companies like we do, you are like melting ice cube. That means you have this one hit company and then you just melt down. So we are aware of that, and we try to bring new products, and that was the strategy on very beginning. So we set up a new team, and we were really looking for another game, which was Digi's Adventure, and so we were struggling with organization of processes of building, or we are upgrading game each week, so it's easy to set up these kind of sprints. But what we were struggling with was like the strategy and the processes around this project. So, and I think really important thing that on that stage you need to be mentored, or you need to hire the guys who go through something like that. So we were able to hire the guy from Accenture who built up few middle companies up to 300 people, and his task was like, there is this pixel environment. It's really important as a family type of company, but you need to bring these processes of growing company, and this was his task, and this is his task still, and he's doing on that. And so it's important to have these people with these skills in your team, because there's no way how you manage it without experiences.
Right. How about hiring people? How are you looking for the right talent that could build other games?
I got my strategy is like, I got this. It's not formula, but I think quadrants or whatever. I got this: not motivated, not skilled. This guy sucks. Okay. Then we have this motivated, but not very skilled. Very skilled and not motivated, and then motivated and skills. These are these superstars, but they are really hard to find, these people. So usually you are like the fight between these two types of persons, and I'm usually go with these motivated guys, and it's a natural in the business industry, because it's easier for us to find these geeks who are really into building up the game. So it's easier than probably any other type of startups. So, and these motivated guys are much more faster, and they got this experience really fast. So I'm going for such a people.
Right. So, and I guess good people, they stay also in companies where there's a good company culture. Could you describe us what is your company culture like? What are the maybe values? Yeah. And then how does your day look like as a CEO of such company culture? Right?
As you can see, there are some screens with all of our numbers. So I think, briefly saying, it's like transparency and fairness, and sharing. That means if I know something, I will share it, not only into company but also into outside world. I'm not afraid of that somebody will use it or whatever, because it's not depending on that. It's about my passion or on endurance, on this kind of things. So that's the mentality of us. And my day right now, I have few levels of what I'm doing. So first one is a shareholder things, and we are right now dealing with some changes in shareholders level, so it's really crucial. Then there is I call it front end level. So I'm the face of the company. That was the deal. I am this Steve Jobs, whatever, but in reality I'm of course not that guy. I'm just representing all of the talents what we got here. And I'm doing a lot of PR stuff and these kind of things and networking. So I'm meeting people like Trip Hawkins from Electronic Arts, former founder, and I try to talk with him and I try to get advices. And I met Mr. Peterson, the CEO of CCP of Iceland, and this type of things. So, and this means for us HR or headhunt also that there's a visibility of the company. And then the last one, and very important, is my backend things. I am the chief of the board, chief of the four, so I'm directly running with 4 guys: chief marketing officer, chief operation officer and finance, chief project officer, and chief tech officer. So that's, and the deal is that I'm meeting them every week for 1 day, and we got these talks and issues and all together, and then I got 1 day on one-to-one with them, and that's it. That's my day, or my agenda.
And what is currently hot at Pixel Federation? What are you guys working on?
We have several girls here now. Just kidding. No, we got the Seaport game.
Yeah.
We got the Seaport game running pretty well on Facebook. We are heading to, we are on the Facebook canvas, but right now we are heading to mobiles and tablets, and the numbers are really solid. We are struggling, the retention, we got this REM model, acquisition, retention, and monetization. And retention, we got the saying, the monetization is a king, but the retention is a King Kong. That means there is great numbers of retention with that game. It's huge, so we are really happy about that. But monetization is not running well. But if you got this retention, the monetization is only a question of time. So average payment per paying user is what we are struggling with it, but the numbers are great. So the Seaport is hot. And then we decided to deliver new platforms for another games, for Steam and Oculus and VR. And New York Times recognized us as one of the companies who is producing games for VR. So we got this article there with our game collab. So it was really huge for us. And we got this game called Morning Man, all in the production, and everybody is so excited about that game. I don't know, it's in a great artistical style of 80s, comics 80s. And the guys from Blizzard and Activision just came to us and said, okay guys, this is awesome, and blah blah blah, and they stole our book, art book from. So it's these things are really hot, and we will see, because we invest this year. We invest a lot of money into that type of project, and we'll see what's happening.
I have to say, if you guys haven't seen The Morning Man, it's pretty great graphics, so really the 80s style, and brings back the.
And I saw some scenes from the game, and I was like, fuck, I was dazzled. Like, okay,
it's great.
Yeah.
And so you said you are also trying to get into Steam. Did you have any other games on Steam? Or what?
We are producing another type of game called Galacticjangly, and it's not sandbox type of game, but you are able to bring your spaceship or build your own spaceship with these Minecraft type of things, but in a better quality and graphics, and then you will fight in MOBA style, in arena PvP things. So, and it's also looking great, and we'll see. But you know what? It's like the percentage of success is 10%. So I'm really saying, okay, let's wait for the first numbers and deliver it, and then we will see what's going on. So, but yeah, it's exciting.
Right. Again, maybe if I go back to the business side, are you looking for, or are you thinking of some kind of international expansion, going across the borders?
Yeah, the plan is like, let's deal with this shareholders things, and we are going to deliver it in a short time. And then we were thinking about opening office somewhere maybe UK, maybe Prague, maybe Canada, maybe States. And the point is that we would like to somehow hire these top experienced guys, and I think they will never come to Bratislava. So we were thinking to open this kind of office to bring them and cooperate with them. Right now I'm building my board of advisors from that type of guys, and you are hiring this top talent not via Pixel Federation but via this board of advisors.
Right.
So that's the strategy. But I am not sure if we can handle it this year, but for sure next.
Okay. Let's look at what's coming up in the future, personally, but also for Pixel Federation. You mentioned that your guys are looking at virtual reality.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a bit more? What do you think about the whole kind of new sector, and what are the opportunities there?
I think it's here.
Yeah.
So when you put this headset on and you can see these things, it clicks, it's here. So, but I think it's probably one iteration from going to be big. So our strategy right now is fully understand these mechanics and be prepared. There is no revenues expectations right now. So we would like to fully understand what is fun, what is not fun, how we can handle this type of hardware and these kind of things, and we will be ready with that. So I would like to say that we will be first, because being first is really huge advantage everywhere. So the plan is like, let's see what's happened, but be ready. So right now we are producing one big game based on a game called Cola, the small, like short one, the 10 minutes game, and we would like to just deliver it this year. So on Oculus, Samsung Gear, and all of this type of things. But I think in the future the VR is just first step. The second step, and probably really important, is AR. And I think the AR will be huge and really a life-changing thing in many ways of learning processes, delivering working things, and so on, and also in the gaming industry. So and we are really enjoying, and it's exciting times when we are living.
So you can say that you will be betting on VR, that there will be the disruptor of the gaming industry.
Yeah, definitely it will, but I think there is one iteration behind. So
right. And how about yourself? Now you are pretty known in the community. Do you follow the community, the startup community?
Yeah, I'm following. I try to be helpful. So we are sharing a lot. We were lucky. I was lucky. So we are sharing, try to help, and we get the help from outside. We have really nice relationship with Nordeus, which is biggest Serbian free-to-play company, top 11 football manager, these guys, and CCP guys, and so on and so on. I'm going to London next week and meet these guys, and they are sharing a lot. So we are sharing too, and yeah, my plans, or I know the startup community right now, and I'm in a jury of Slovak American Foundation, and as you can see, we have this jury, and we just pick one company who will get 35K and go to US, this drone and base type of company, and I'm also investing. So my first investment was to a company called Charge Monkey. It's a Philips company in Prague, and I'm there as a smart money. So he asked me to invest as an investor, but also as a guy who got the feeling for the games, and I got like 4 next possible investments running right now. So we'll see. And I am also investor in a VC fund called Analogy, because of Ivan Štefanko.
What is your favorite I would say Slovak or local regional startup that you would consider investment?
I like these Photonel guys, and I like these drone-based guys. They changed the name. I don't know the name because they are doing what I understand. Yeah, and I think there's so many talented people in Slovakia. So almost every can be successful. But I think that the key for success is not only the vision and idea, but execution. Execution, and that's the crucial that. And when you are executing, you need this endurance and all of these kind of things. So hopefully everybody will be 10 times successful than Pixel, because my life will be better then. So.
What do you? Which sectors do you invest in? Do you focus only on gaming, or you also you would invest outside of your scope?
IT.
IT. In general.
IT.
Okay.
IT.
Right. What are the drawbacks or the negatives of this ecosystem?
It's it's legislation, and probably mindsets, our mindsets of people, because you need dream big and being able to scale your idea and not be local. And a lot of people are afraid somehow compare from guys or from outside. But you know what? I met them all, and they are really just normal people like we are. So there's just this execution and run for vision. So this is probably drawback. And also, I will prefer that government will support it more, not just only president, but also the government. So I saw this support for Aeromobile, and it's significant, but it's only one. So I will prefer that government will support all of these small ideas, and there will be a huge ROI then for everybody.
Right. And how about the young studios that want to start up their own game or small gaming studio? How can they innovate in an environment where they have not enough resources at the start, but they still want to make it? What would you? Maybe there are some young developers here. We don't know, but what would be the recommendation for them?
As I said, there must be a strong vision. Our vision was connected with passion, so it works really well. And then you need this survival mentality with the endurance, and you need to somehow, because I didn't sleep almost 3 years. It was really tough, and I'm not hero. It's just normal, and some people can't handle this. So this is it. And you need to, I think, in a business, or when you want to do your own business, it's really important who you are and what are your fundamentals and what is really important in your life. So, for example, the money for me, they are really important, but the feeling of freedom and setting your own world and your own rules is the most important thing. What drives me to be in the business. So, I think these type of things are really great fundamentals for beginning, and then you need a ton of luck and somehow deliver it.
And how do you manage internally in Pixel Federation? You have a lot of creative people around. They probably have their own ideas. They would like to develop their own game.
All our new games are from our people. So we are right now acting as an incubator for ideas. So we saw a lot of pitches from our people, and what is really great and what's motivate the best people is that they have they can make their own rules, and there is a opportunity for them to be creative, and how we understand that, we just really talk with them on very beginning, and then it's up to them. So this is really what's going on right now in Pixel. So these teams, these big game teams are running almost independently. I'm really not talking them. Hi guys, when it's crucial and when it starts to be really tough, then okay, we go there with some analysis, but it's up to these guys who are running these projects. So,
Is there anything after Pixel Federation? What would you like to do?
I got 3 kids, so there is something next to Pixel and after Pixel. I don't know yet. Probably I would like to do a charity and these kind of things and help people, help Slovakia probably, and probably do a lot of edu stuff, because I think the gamification of education is probably one really important thing, and I'm not the type guy that would like to do nothing, or probably later I would like to draw something and do this
Back to the roots.
normal things. So
Yeah.
but my mind is not yet there, so
Right.
not there yet.
Since we are actually it's almost 10:02. My couple of last questions. In general, which company is your role model? Like, who is your hero?
It's not my like. There are several companies like Blizzard, and they are delivering top quality products. But I think our role model, and it's Electronic Arts, and I hate their culture. But what I love about them, how they were able to adapt into new platforms. And they don't care if they were doing games on Amiga or whatever, so they were constantly doing games and take the opportunities from next platform. So that's the mood, what I like about them. So in that type of doing business or doing games, Electronic Arts, in quality, of course, Blizzard and these guys.
Okay. And more into gaming, what was your favorite game?
Fallout 2,
Fallout 2?
yeah.
Any of the kind of strategy like Warcraft or this kind of...
No,
No?
I was not playing games so much on that time.
Okay.
So I'm like, I played all 90s, so
Good stuff.
yeah.
All right, and before we finish this, I would like to ask you for like the final message, also for not only for this audience, but since you will be joining the Startup Grind platform, and around 400,000 people will have the opportunity to see this video. What will be the message, the final message from this interview?
Dream big, fail hard, work harder, and don't be asshole. That's
Perfect, guys. I
Okay.
think that's what sums it up.
okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Now there's 1 extra hour in front of us to enjoy some drinks, some beer, and let's get to know each other. So enjoy. Thanks.
Thanks.
One more time.